Roaring Kitty and Robinhood on Capitol Hill today. If that sounds like the start of a bad joke, it is not. The CEO of the trading app, Robinhood, and a YouTube investment streamer who goes by Roaring Kitty, just a few of the people testifying before the House Committee on Financial Services this afternoon over last month's Reddit rally in GameStop stock. Let's get to NBC News senior business correspondent Stephanie Ruhle. So, Steph, what exactly did the House Finance Committee want to talk to these guys about? What specifically are they looking into here?
A lot. I mean, you said it. It is a crazy story. Yeah. This started with a hedge fund that was betting the shares of a troubled video game company, GameStop, were going to fall. That's called selling short. And that's a very risky strategy, especially if the stock skyrockets, which is exactly what it did. And why did that happen? Because this anonymous group of day traders, of everyday investors, that met on Reddit, started buying up the stock, and it was soaring, creating so much volatility that Robinhood, that's the mobile app that a lot of everyday investors, millions in fact, use to trade. It's a free app. It was forced to stop a lot of the trading in this and other names, and that infuriated so many of these investors and made them lose a ton of money. That was just one of the questions these lawmakers wanted the answer to. And we saw Congressman Patrick McHenry from North Carolina asking Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev about that very thing. Watch this.
Why did Robinhood restrict the buying but not the selling of GameStop? And why did folks get locked out on the buy side only?
So we don't want to impose that type of experience on our customers unless we have no other choice. And even though I recognize customers were very upset and disappointed that we had to do this, I imagine it would have been significantly worse if we prevented customers from selling.
It wasn't the government that forced them to stop some trading. They simply didn't have the money to meet their margin requirements, leaving so many investors saying, hold on a second. You said you were a full service broker. You could do my business, but you couldn't when I needed it most.
All right, so, Steph, there is absolutely the possibility that these are all real arguments, real defenses for what happened. But if you could just tell us some of the other things we heard today and if Congress is buying their stories or not.
Okay, so at the end of the day, you heard from the CEOs of Robinhood, Reddit. You said Roaring Kitty. That's one of the investors who sort of started this idea. And some of the hedge funds were speaking, too. And at the end of the day, they all came with their prepared remarks that were vetted by their lawyers. We saw congresspeople make their speeches. Did anything change? Unclear. Is anything going to happen? Who knows? The Financial Services Committee, I actually spoke to the chair of the committee, Maxine Waters, last night, and she said she had to bring them together. It's their job. The Financial Services Committee is there to ensure markets move smoothly and safely. And something wrong occurred. Here's what she had to say.
Our aim certainly is to protect the investor and to do what needs to be done. And so I don't start out thinking that this is too big, this is too difficult, and that we don't have a role to play. We certainly have demonstrated since I have chaired this committee that we're willing to do what is necessary, even to change the status quo.
So the congresspeople might be buying some of their stories, but here's the issue. At the end of the day, if there was no wrongdoing, what's to be done? Do they want to change the rules and regulations?
Right.
Well, much of this goes to the SEC. And I will tell you, Allison, historically speaking, I can think back to these hearings we saw in 2010 after the flash crash. The SEC is still working on pending regulation from that issue. So you're not going to watch these hearings and suddenly see a big rule change in the next couple of weeks. But we will see more hearings.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, for our viewers who are sitting here, wondering, OK, great, I've seen a million of these hearings before, but is anything going to change? Sounds like progress, if any, is slow, and we may just be in it for the long haul.
Well, we're definitely getting at least 2 more hearings on the House side. Senator Elizabeth Warren, who I spoke to, has called for hearings on the Senate side, the Senate Banking Committee. And no doubt the SEC is going to be working on this. What will be the result? Who knows? Those who are calling for more regulation to protect the middle guy, here's the thing. More regulation often hurts the smallest guys. That's the problem.
Steph, I know it's late in the evening, especially given how early you go on air. Thank you so much for sticking around to go through this with our viewers. We really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.